YouTube world and VC community. It's Liam the Deaf Doom Metalhead here. I hope you're all well. I've had a quite busy day today. I discovered a dead rat in my garage. My wife has been complaining for the last 3 or 4 days that it smells like death in the garage, and because of my hay fever I can't smell fuck all at the moment, but I discovered a dead rat today. It was under the treadmill and it was dead maggots kind of carrying it away, and that's the only reason I noticed it, because I've looked through the garage now for at least 3 days and I found nothing. I moved everything, but the only thing I didn't move was the treadmill. So I have no idea how it got in there. I don't even want to know how it got in there. But yeah, anyway, I've got a load of new CDs and vinyl recently. Since the COVID situation has eased up, the German post seems to be a bit, excuse me, a bit more quicker than what they were. So the last week or so I've received, every other day a package, and I've had to kind of sneak it down the hallway and into here before the wife sees it, because technically it's her birthday in a couple of weeks and I could pretend that they're for her, but they're all a certain shape, and it doesn't take a genius to work out what I've been doing. So I will start with CDs. The first one is a German death doom band called Victims of Creation. This is, I think, their only album, which is called Symmetry of Our Plagued Existence, through Cyclone Empire, and it came out in 2013. I discovered this band in a not so unusual way, as I discover most music, but I was listening to Spotify, and for some reason or other I had this on one of my playlists that I designed, even though I've never heard of them before, and I only now know because I brought the CD, but before that I have no idea where I found it because it was on there. But it only had one track. The whole album was on there, but only one track existed. The rest were all greyed out, so obviously there was a licensing issue with one of the tracks maybe being unlicensed to a different record label or something. I don't know, but that was the second track on here, and I really liked it. It was really, really good. It's got everything you want, really. It's got growly stuff, clean, like traditional doom singing on there. There's even some pagan chanting on there, but it really does work. It's not an easy listen. It's what, we've got 5 tracks on here, and there's only one under 10 minutes. So, if you like long music that you can sit down to, put it on, take it all in. It's really good. It's very riffy. There's like lots of like traditional 90s death metal sounding guitar work. There's lots of soaring lead work. All sorts of things going on in this album. And it's also got a hidden track as well. So the last one's about nearly 15 minutes long. I went to the can, and I could hear it down the hallway playing again. It was just some kind of piano work going on. Nothing fancy, but there's no mention of it. So the last time I had a hidden track on a CD, I think, was the Korn Follow the Leader album when I was a teenager. So that was unusual. But yeah, I think they're a 4-piece. Yeah, 4-piece, all German looking dudes by the looks of the names. So yeah, check it out if you like all that kind of, a mixed bag of death metal and doom metal, but more on the kind of like traditional side of things, because the guitar tone is very traditional sounding doom, but it's got that kind of 90s death metal riffing, if you can picture that. But yeah, check it out. And this one I got off eBay a couple of days ago, so I was the only one to bid on it, and I was amazed I was the only one to bid on it, because to me they're a band that are very hard to get hold of CD wise without spending a small fortune. I only paid less than $5 for it with free postage, and that is Mourning Beloveth's album Sullen, Sulcus. It's an album I discovered a long time ago through the singer of my band, Dan. He mentioned the band and he said, "Oh, you'll like them, guarantee you'll like them." And he was right, I do. They're an Irish death doom band, but what sets them apart is their vocalist on the guitars. So they have 2 vocalists on stage. They've got one dude who just does all death metal growls with a mic, and then on the right hand side of the stage they've got a guitarist, or the left hand side of the stage, depending on how you look at it, who does the clean singing, and he's got a really, really good voice. Really belts it out. Oh, I had a Pepsi on me, sorry. Oh. Sorry. But yeah, he belts out fantastic, songs. He's got a really good voice, and it really sets it apart. Because they essentially kind of sit at one speed and they kind of ride with the lyrics, so the harmonies and all that kind of intertwine with how high he goes and how low he goes, and the growls then kind of give it that kind of death metal grittiness. So yeah, I mean I've never seen this band live. I've only watched it on YouTube, and I've really wanted to play with these guys. I think we had a chance once at a festival maybe, but I might be wrong. But yeah, I mean it's a fantastic album. There's quite a few. There's one called Dust that I really like. The new EP, they did a split recently. I can't remember what the other band was, but it was all clean singing, and it kind of just sat at one pace. It didn't really go anywhere. It wasn't very heavy. So I'm hoping like they haven't changed too much, because their newer albums kind of they've got softer almost throughout the years. I kind of go for the earlier, grittier sounding albums. But yeah, if you like doom. Because this isn't just death doom. I mean, it's a lot of clean singing on a lot of different songs, so you can kind of get a traditional sounding doom album almost. Yeah, check them out, they're great. So also in my massive shopping list of things I brought months ago, I brought a load of stuff from a chap in Germany through Discogs, and if you use Discogs, you know that you obviously scour through the guy who's selling whatever CD you're buying, and you kind of want to make most of the postage. So because the postage was like worked out, if I needed to get like another 2 CDs or a couple of 7-inches to make it worthwhile, and he had a few that I wanted, and one of them was this one. So this is a split between Disma and Convulse, and this is called Days of Death. Now if you don't know who Disma are, they're a American, some people class them as a black and death metal band, but I would say they're more old school death metal with like doom influences. There is black metal influences, but very subtle. I mean, I haven't heard it. I can see why people would say it, but I wouldn't mention it as a description of the band. And they're fucking heavy. They're really heavy. Really good band. Their only debut album, I think, is Towards the Megalith, the full length. I really regret not buying it because I saw it come out in 2011. I sat there and I went, I won't buy that, I'll wait. I never brought it, I forgot all about it, and then I look on Discogs now and it's like 40 quid starting price just to get it over here. It's silly money now. There's a picture disc one you can buy, but I'm a bit on the fence with picture discs. I'm not sure what you guys think, but for me, I've been told so many bad things about it, it's kind of put me off. So, I mean, my player isn't great by any stretch either, so I kind of have a feeling if I combine the two, it's going to be terrible. But this is just 2 tracks. I don't bias. This is 2 tracks. Convulse is on side A. They're a Finnish death metal band from the early 90s. Their album that I know is really good. I did write the name down, so I always forget. World Without God. If you haven't heard that, check that out. It's essentially 90s death metal. So if you're looking for something new in that kind of territory, check out that by Convulse, because I think one of the tracks is off this EP is on here. But Disma's I'm Wept in Oblivion. It's at least 9 minutes or 8 minutes long. Fucking good stuff. It really is. All the lyrics are here. It's like a nice little gatefold for a 7-inch. Artwork on the back as well. The vinyl was also quite fun. It's a split colour. So you've got the orange and black mix in there. I paid like a £5 for that, and I was really happy because it's I think it's collectible. I don't know how many of these exist, but there's no number written on it. But that came out through Dementia Records. I don't believe they exist anymore. I know you can obviously buy all their stuff through Discogs still, but I believe a lot of their stock got brought up and sold off because they used to do all like the Hood and Menace, and I think Ghost's first debut came out through them as well many years ago, before they're now the massive band that they are. The other 7-inch I got from the same guy was this one. Now, this is another Cyclone Empire, because I think the guy, because he's in Germany, I think he just has it, all his stock was from that label. And he has got some really good stuff. I know Cyclone Empire put out a few bolt thrower releases with a splatter vinyl effect. So I'm eyeing them up at the moment, but I'm not going to buy them just yet, just in case, because there's quite a few things coming out that I want. And I know if I spend all my money now, I'm buggered for the rest of the month, like probably everyone else that watches these kind of videos. But this release, and the reason I wanted it is for, put that down, this one here, Grand Supreme Blood Court. Now, on my very first video when I introduced myself and all that stuff, I'm listening to that in the background. Dutch death metal, but also doom, so you can kind of call it death doom, but more, well, they are death doom, yeah, why not, yeah. But their album came through Century Media, and they put out this release and were given permission to put the bonus track, which is only on this 7-inch, Welcome to the Sawmill. And I had to have it because, again, it was only a £5, and it's only 500 of them. I don't know if you can see the number there. I think that says 32. Got no idea, but I saw that. I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm having that." Paganizer is the other band on there. If you can't make out the band logo, they're a Swedish death metal band. HM2, no nonsense. They're on loads of different split releases, and they've got loads of albums. Their latest one, through Transcending Obscurity, looks really nice. It's got really good artwork, so I might buy that. But again, that's another one that's on the list, as there is millions on my list. I'll get the vinyl off the floor. And the vinyl was like a really purpley, it probably look pink on this video, but it's like a pastel-y purple colour. But yeah, I was really happy to get that because it's collectible. You know, as a collector, you need to try and make sure you get everything you can. And there's a little insert there with the band pictures of the guys and the lyrics for the track. I'm hoping they start up again, because they did one album and then they just stopped. They have members from Asphyx. I think the core of it is the original 3 from Asphyx. So if you like Asphyx, you're going to like Grand Supreme Bloodcourt. Simple as that. And then I got a load of vinyl here that came through. I'll start off with one I pre-ordered back in April. And this came from the Netherlands through Raw Skulls. No, I can't get that right. It is Raw Skull Records. And this is a fucking awesome album. So this is Graceless, Where Vultures Know Your Name. Dutch Death Doom, you know, but on the faster side. There's some slow, chuggy parts, but it's essentially really good Dutch Death Doom, like Grand Supreme Bloodcourt I showed before. I mean, the album artwork alone, the camera's not going to do it justice. I need to get a special light for when I do these videos so you can actually see what I'm actually looking at. But yeah, the first pressing was a gatefold with this whole artwork on here. But it was so popular it sold out, and they did a second pressing. Because it's just, they're kind of blown up, they're massive on the underground scene. And I got the, what they call Watermelon vinyl edition. There's one more, but yeah, it's massive. It sounds absolutely huge. It's really chuggy, really riffy, really good solos. You know, there's like that kind of Sweden death metal like drum beat in there, the D beat they call it, I think. It's got everything. I couldn't recommend it enough. The label that put them out essentially specialise in old school death metal, so if you're into that kind of style of metal, I would definitely check out Raw Skull Records, because I mean the postage was really good. It turned up in a really nice thick box, not a mark on it, so I was really happy. Because normally when you buy something overseas, sometimes it turns up in a pile of bits, but so far I haven't had that issue for quite a few months now. This one, on the other hand, didn't turn up in the best packaging, but it's okay. So I was on Amazon, like I always am, scouring for bargains, and I speak to a few dudes at work. We're in a group and we share things, and this one turned up, Memoriam's first album, For the Fallen. Now, if you haven't heard of these guys, they are a British death metal band with ex-members of Bolt Thrower and Benediction. So when Bolt Thrower called it a day, obviously because their drummer died, this project I believe then started. I'm not sure, it might have been active before that, but I'm pretty sure there was no releases before that. So the bass player and the singer are from famous bands. Carl, the singer, is from Bolt Thrower, and the bass player, I can't remember his name unless it's written in here. No, he's from Benediction. So you kind of get a blend of the two bands in this album. A lot of people don't like this album compared to, I mean, their latest one is very, very popular, and rightly so. It's very, very good. I need to get it. But this is the first one I heard of them. I mean, this came back out in 2017 through Nuclear Blast. It's fantastic. It's got everything about Bolt Thrower that I love. Yeah, even the artwork itself, you've got that kind of war theme there, you've got tanks, kind of like people marching with some kind of coffin. You know, when you're buying vinyl, like I always say in my videos, artwork is key. And they've gone to town on this one. I can't remember who the artist was, but it's great. What can I talk about the music? So yeah, it sounds like Bolt Thrower. So you've got tracks on there about war, like War Rages On, Surrounded by Death, Resistance. But there's also some kind of political themes in the songs as well. It's just straight up chuggy, nasty death metal. Frank Healy was the bass player. Yeah, Frank Healy. And the artwork was done by a guy called Dan Seagrave. So yeah, check him out, because if you look there, that looks fucking awesome. So yeah, I only paid like 12 or 13 quid out of Amazon. Packaging was shit. It came in like a really thin cardboard box, as Amazon seemed to do. But it's alright, it plays well. So, you know, it's just black vinyl, so I'm happy. Another pre-order came through. I'm really excited about this one. I listened to it and it sounds amazing. They are, I don't know how old they are, but Trouble. They're from Chicago, traditional doom band. This is their debut, and it came out in 1984, originally through Metal Blade Records. But this is obviously not. This is a Hammerheart remaster that came out this year. If you don't know who Trouble are, they're a traditional doom band, but they've got a kind of like Thin Lizzy guitar work going on. So the two guys really gel off each other, and they really throw riffs around at each other, and the lead work and everything is really groovy, bouncy. And you've got some kind of psychedelic moments in there as well, like very traditional, almost 70s sounding in some parts. And it is fucking awesome. I absolutely love this band. I mean, this is the first album I ever heard of theirs. Back in when I was a teenager, I was kind of researching doom bands, and this one popped up with the title track. But I believe this album wasn't originally titled Psalm 9, it was just the self-titled, but after the fourth album they changed it. I don't know why, but yeah, because I've always known it to be called Psalm 9, but I researched it this afternoon. They apparently changed it. This version, I was quite lucky really. I kind of spotted it on their website, because I kind of go on Hammerheart quite a lot. If you don't know who Hammerheart Records are, they're a Dutch record label that put out a lot of classic stuff, and they remaster it, and they go to town on it. They do the artwork, they do everything. If you're a thrash fan, a lot of the old like one-hit wonders and even bands I've never even heard of from Europe, they kind of remaster, put it out, and it's, you know, for a really good price as well. It's not expensive. They're a great label, so check them out, Hammerheart Records. They did this one on white, which I believe is only 100 of these. I was talking to a mate on Instagram about it, and he couldn't get hold of it. He got a clear version. They put out a second one called The Skull as well, but I just didn't have the money. You know, as always, when I want to buy things, I don't have the money, so I've already spent it. much to my wife's joy. But yeah, it sounds massive, especially the remastered version. I mean, this is, you know, it does sound different to the original. You know, you can actually hear everything really clear. It's great. You know, I can't recommend it enough how great this is. If you like your doom, you know, this is where you go. Go here, watch these guys. I've got a DVD of theirs as well, them playing live, and you kind of appreciate it even more, because just the guitar work is fantastic. So if you, yeah, Trouble. And last one on my list is another one I'm well late to the party with, but I only discovered it about a month ago. It's amazing. So this is Gorephilia. I think that's how you pronounce it. No logo, nothing fancy, just artwork. Obviously it's on the spine there. And this is the album Severed Monolith. And essentially, just straight up 90s death metal. If you like, I'm going to compare it again to Morbid Angel, but the first three Morbid Angel albums very influenced this band. You know, there's so many similarities to the soloing, the riffing style, the vocal style. Even the production is almost Covenant sounding in some parts. I mean, this is just black vinyl. This was released through MSUO Recordz. I can't pronounce the proper name, but this which is like a London extreme metal label. They put out really good stuff. I think the American one was Dark Descent. Yeah. And this came out in 2017, and I only just discovered it recently. It's really good stuff. Really fast, no nonsense. You can put it on, do what you want to do, and you know, and you've got some really shreddy, over the top death metal, but in that kind of 90s theme. These guys are from Finland, so the vocal style is really good. Finnish death metal bands just seem to have that really deep caveman-like vocal style, especially with the Death Doom bands. Yeah, I love it. Sounds great. There's a picture of the guys there in the woods. Some lyrics on the back there, but yeah, you know, nothing fancy album-wise, but you know, you just put it on and enjoy it. I mean, that record label that put it out, I mean, their releases aren't expensive, you know, 14-15 quid UK price for a full length like that. Underground death metal, you know, can't get better than that. So yeah, there you go. So I hope you enjoyed all that. Please check out those bands. I will put links and all stuff like that in my description. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Just give me an excuse to do more videos. Like I said in my last video, I'm hoping to do a few more series, but again, it's just waiting on circumstances to change so I can do it. They are getting better now. I might even be able to go to the gym in a few weeks, which would be quite fun. I'll lose some of the chub I've put on since being at home all the time. So yeah, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe. You take care. Speak to you soon. Cheers.